What's up, everybody? How's it going? It is Matt, and it is Wild Wednesday. Yes, yes, yes. Happy Hump Day to each and every one of you. And as always, I do hope each and every one of you are having a great morning, evening, dawn, day, or dusk, all that wonderful stuff. Because life's too short otherwise. Please do like, share, and subscribe. I see I got a few more new faces around here. Do always look in the description box for more information on the daily film, such as a brief synopsis, your starring cast, your director, the runtime of the cut I am watching, some trivia if there's anything that I feel is worth mentioning, and then there's always going to be either a link to a trailer or to a scene. Do always look in there for more information, so do keep that in mind, guys. I can't stress that enough. So if you're more interested about the daily film, do always check that out. Now, as far as if you're trying to find one to purchase, just drop me a message down below, and I can try to point you in the right direction, but I can't guarantee anything, one of those kind of ordeals. Alright, guys, let's see. Now, this is a very fun one. This one came out back in 1981. I was 1 years old. I was a wee lad. This one, I didn't get to see it until I was in my early teens, and I really, really enjoy it. It's very well made. This is what I call an A-list slasher, in my opinion. This should be in any like devoted horror slasher fans collection. This one should be in it, in my opinion. Well, honestly, I think everything this week should be in their. Actually, no, Savage Weekend was okay. It could have been much better, but Slaughterhouse definitely I highly recommend, and then today's film as well. Sorry, got a little frog in my throat. That's just kind of got me out of nowhere. That's the joy of being a cigarette smoker, I guess. Alright, guys, let's get on to it. It is none other than Happy Birthday to Me, and as you see, I have two different copies of this one here. I got an old DVD from Anchor Bay right here, and this is the more recent release, Blu-ray release from Mill Creek, which, by the way, this one does look nice, and this is one of those where the slipcovers I feel are better than the actual cover artwork, because if I open this one up, you want to see something very scary. Like, it almost like upsets me how wretched it is. Isn't that just ugly? Like, who the hell came up with this artwork here? Like, it is very, lame. It's just not, it doesn't fit the movie at all. But, they do it justice with the slipcover and give you the original old school artwork which we have here on this release as well. The only real difference between them is this one has a better transfer, it has a better picture. This one has the only special feature out of both of them. This one has the special feature, and it's a trailer, and that's it. This one has zero special features, guys. There's nothing on there. Not even a commentary track, a trailer gallery, nothing like that. It is a very bare bones, basic release. But they're very cheap. They're extremely affordable. They're like less than $10. A lot of them are, they're less than like 15 for most of them. I think I got this one for like $8.99 or something like that. It was a steal. I couldn't pass up. It caught my eye with this artwork because I am a sucker for the old school 80s artwork, especially if it is a film from back then. Not so much a throwback for newer films. It can look a little tacky and annoying sometimes. There are certain ones that it just does not work. Anyways, on to today's movie. Well, I already got special features out of the way. Today's movie is a very interesting one. Like I said, it came out in 1981, so like 39 years ago. I think it said it started filming in 1980, which I can see that this one took a little while to make because there's a lot of little attention to detail here, the little details, little fine, little intricate little pieces that tie in, but because this one is so full of so many twists and turns that it will keep your head spinning at points. This is one of those. I think it's the first time watch might be a little much on you. I don't know, but every time I watch this afterwards, after that first time, I've liked it even more and more every time. I don't know what it is about it. I think it's just because there's such amazing acting, and the director is none other than J. Lee Thompson, the guy who did Guns of Navarone. I mean, the guy was a beast of a director. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. They say this was the only slasher out of his career. I don't know if you call 10 to Midnight a slasher. I really wouldn't. I would say it's more of a suspense thriller type movie. But with the one with Charles Bronson, if you don't know what movie I'm talking about, which I need to get a copy of that. That movie's pretty cool. I would like to review that one someday. Keep my eye out for it. Anyways, now, like I said, you have J. Lee Thompson that directed this, and then you got none other than the immortal Glenn Ford that is acting in this. That guy did so many amazing classics along the way. One of my favorites that he ever did was the original 3:10 to Yuma, which I absolutely love and adore that movie. It is so good. I almost forgot to mention about J. Lee Thompson. This was one of his last big Hollywood like haha movies. He went to, even though Canon Films is not, they're not. Nothing bad against them. Not to say that their films aren't Hollywood. Their films are amazing. I love Canon Films. They were some of the most original films of the day, of its time. What was it? Golan and Golbus, Menachem Golan and Yoram Golbus, or whatever their names were. I forget. But I am extremely thankful for those two dudes. They made some amazing stuff, and they got J. Lee Thompson to come over and do a slew of films for them, which is very, very cool that they got him to do that. It shows a director that can really go from something very, very large and upscale to something smaller and still make a very good movie, in my opinion. Now, who else do we got in here besides Glenn Ford? Which I heard in Glenn Ford about this film, he was very, very belligerently drunk while filming it. And him and the AD, the assistant director, got into it at some point, and Glenn Ford actually physically hit the man. And the director, J. Lee Thompson, comes in and is the only person, I guess, that makes sense. He convinces the police not to arrest him, and it could have really affected the film if he would have got arrested over punching a guy while filming it. It could have not like his career was really anything inspiring in this point of his life, because he did all of his better stuff. All of his classics were way before the 80s, and so you got to keep that in mind. Like back in the when does 3:10 and Yuma come out? Was that the late 50s, early 60s, I believe? I can't remember exactly, but amazing film. Check it out. The remake is actually really good too. But so there was that going on in there. Who else do we got in here? We got Melissa Sue Anderson, we got Lawrence Dane, we got Sharon Acker, Frances Hyland, and Tracy Bergman. And this one is basically, what is it about? It's about this girl. She had a very bad accident when she was younger. Her and her mother were racing along after obviously something had happened. You're not really 100% sure what it is, but until later in the film. But you find out later, or you find out that they fall off of the bridge. But then I'll come back to that later. So that's something that you start off with knowing is there's a very early like flashback that is kind of key that you have to keep your eye out for, because it definitely tells a lot for the film, in my opinion. It's how it starts to tie in little twists and turns. But you get she is a kind of a privileged girl. She comes from money. Glenn Ford plays her doctor. So he makes house calls. If that tells you anything about that, they obviously have money if the doctor's going to come to your house and see you like that. Just face it, folks. But anyways, so she is going along, and everything is about her 18th birthday. What happens? It starts off with her and her friends. They're at this local pub. They are playing pranks on people. They, as a matter of fact, they pull a little prank on these like lodge members that were hanging out there. They had their little hats on and everything, and they are able to slip a little lab rat into the head lodge members, the Great Poobah from like what was that, Flintstones? If you guys watched any of that, I can't remember if that was exactly it though. But anyways, I say anyways a lot, don't I? They managed to slip this in here. It's quite a funny scene, but they are something that they have this little game where when the bridge is getting ready to go up, they all race down at it, race as fast as they can from the pub to get onto the other side before the bridge can get all the way up. So you obviously you lose if you can't do that. But they all go racing down there. It eventually, several of them make it over. One of them gets all crazy and just drives up this thing like a freaking lunatic, and he smashes the hell out of his car when he comes down on the other side because it was just so much of an incline. But it causes some static with our main character, or Virginia Virginia Wainwright. So it brings back some memories, which is where the whole the scene I was bringing up earlier about how you can see that her and it looks like obviously her mother are driving away while it's pouring rain. It's very bad weather, like not just like a little bit of rain. It's like thunderstorms and shit like that, when the wind is like just blaring along, and kind of like that silly movie Twister they made years ago. But anyways, there we go again. They fall in. Blah. Okay, so you fast forward, and then one by one, each and every one of her friends are being slowly picked off, and they're explaining it by pranks, because that's a huge thing about this is they pull a lot of pranks on people, such as like they bury a fake science skull or a science lab skull and bury it in some high school garden, and that it causes all this ruckus, which is a funny scene because the Glenn Ford's character, the doctor, the mental doc, comes rolling up in there and is like, "Let me take a look at that, young sir," and they actually hand the skull over to him, and he cleans off the back of it. Look, property of science lab at and so and so, and it just was. It's like one of those scenes, like, what the fuck. It's so weird, but and then you're finding out more of her backstory. Her backstory is very weird. It's told to you throughout flashbacks, through a lot of really vague flashbacks. I will say it's one of those you have to watch the entire movie to really grasp what is going on, because you get all the way to and I almost forgot the dad from Rolling Vengeance is in here. He plays Virginia's dad in this, which is awesome because I loved Rolling Vengeance. Check that one out. Now, you have a fun little showdown at the very, very end. It's obviously going to be a birthday party. It's very obvious from the story, or from the title to it. It's going to have something to do with that. You got some fun kills here. As you can see, this first one here is actually one of the kills in the movie. This person is not in the movie. He is not the character that gets skewered. She is basically this person is luring these people in one by one, because they obviously know who the killer is. They just don't realize that's who it is. One of those ordeals. But you get to see everything from the killer's aspect. Basically, it's not so much from a victim's standpoint, but you really get to see a lot from the killers, from what the killer sees. It's really interesting. I like that, what J. Lee Thompson did with the story on that. Now, as far as anything else that I really want to give away, there's a really cool scene. If you watch in the trailer, it's one that they give away really easily. It's a part of the one of the highlights of the movies that they gave away really soon, and it's a promotional thing besides the skewer in the mouth. But there is a scene where a guy is tuning up his motorcycle, and he's got it running, and he's down by the wheels, tightening it up, and our killer, our victim has a scarf around his neck, and our killer throws the scarf into the tire, and it spins around and just smashes his face in it, and he just revs up on the gas. It is just it is awesome. It was one of the best kills of the movie, in my opinion, hands down. Anyways, now let's get on to some sort of ratings, because I see I've been belligerent for like 17 minutes. As far as any kind of technical side goes, this thing's like a 4 out of 5. This is solid. This has got great story, amazing acting. The story is easy to follow. The momentum is pretty nice. It doesn't it does what I feel a horror movie should do. It should give you some action, pull back on you, and then finally come down with the final sequence, because you can't just go. I mean, you can. I mean, it works. The Terrifier is a perfect example, where you can go like straight at your face the entire movie. That is very possible. I like movies like that too, but I like good movies that have stories as well. Check this one out. So it gets a 4 out of 5 and a 4 out of 5. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10 kind of a film. I'm going to end it with that. I'm going to get the hell out of here. I don't know what else I could really say about that without giving away too many key points, because it does get a little twisty. There's a lot of twists and turns, like I said. I could see I could see M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong, whatever his name is, that terrible director. I'm sorry if you're a fan of him. I have a hard time with his films. I don't even like Sixth Sense, but it has, like, you can see Sixth Sense got some maybe some inspiration from it, like as far as like twists and turns go. It is on that level of twists and turns, but it is done effectively. It is done. It's what you should do when you're trying to deliver twists and turns like that. It is what you should do, not what you should not do. Sixth Sense signs. Anyways. Alright, guys, I love your faces. See you tomorrow.